Hey guys, it's Alexander the Gamer here, and this is part, 2 of this Wednesday's Random Wednesday Rant. This is the second time I've tried filming this, and pretty much I rambled on and babbled, and I even confused myself about what I was saying when I was playing. These guys, in here. Game is so unbalanced. So very unbalanced. So very unbalanced. Meaning that the AI gets several more stacks than you. Pretty easily. But don't worry about that. Just me complaining. Whatever. I do it all the time.
Being at peace, good emissary. You ask much of Pharaoh? Greetings, friend. Let's trade with you. I am humbled. I am humbled by your offer.
Okay. So pretty much, I'll actually start talking now. Instead of you sitting here and watching this while I don't talk, then I always find those very boring, so I'm not going to bore you with that. Now let's talk. Okay. So, in episode 1 of this Wednesday's Random Wednesday Rant, I was talking about what was I talking about? I was talking about what factions I like, what races and factions I liked, and I pretty much brought down to the only ones I really liked at all were the following: Lizardmen, because they're kind of hive mind, everyone knows what they have to do, and it's not about earning something, you give what you're needed. He just has to know that every Friday or whatever, however they would refer to the day of the month, that he was going to be getting what he needed. Alright? And that's just simply how it was. Okay. That's kind of why I like that. Everyone knows what they're being, hive mind. They're very defensive of their forest, and they want to like purge chaos and make everything right in the world and figure out what the heck the great plan is. They know what the great plan is, pretty much. Or how it's gonna end, or how it might have already started, how it's working out. That kind of thing. That's that. Okay, so moving on. I also kind of like the Empire, because the Empire is the bigger of the common man can kind of thing. Because the common man can become, well, a common man can, you can be whatever you want that you can afford. Right? If you can afford to be a halberdier as a pet, you can be it in the army. If you really want to. Will it work out? Probably not. But if you can afford the equipment, which is generally a significantly lower class things that you can sign up to be, but that's that. You can be what you can be, I guess. I am not explaining it very well. When you start out as a peasant, you won't be able to be very much. You would just be some poor guy, sword, spear, maybe a shield, some little bits of armor if you can afford it. Not very much there for you. But if you were, say, able to I don't know, succeed at life, I guess. You could say. you could receive some. You could if you go to battle and you win, and the battle's won, you can get some armor, and you could move up, maybe become a sergeant, get more money, such on and so forth. Also, common men can worship pretty much whatever they want as long as it's not chaos. They can become mages if they can afford it. They can go to the gunnery school, but that's more middle class. That's about it. That's really the point of how far I was going to go with that. That's pretty much how they work. All for one, one for all. No, not really that, but the common man can actually become something in that world. If mainly in the army. If they join the army, they can really move up somewheres. Now, the question becomes, how easy is it? And the answer to that is, it's not that easy. You have to live, pretty much. You just have to live. That's how you move up, and that can be quite difficult in the army sometimes. That's that. That's kind of why I like them. They're pretty all-around accepting of things. They're out to defeat chaos. For the most part, they just want to be rich.
I speak with a simple tongue.
Okay. Now to do a little bit of lore. I'm going to pretty much start out with how it began. In the beginning, I don't mean the very beginning, but in the beginning, the kind of lore, you have the elves on Lothlorien, and you have the wood elves in the wood. I can't remember what the wood is called. You got the dwarves in the mountains. At this time, the chaos dwarves and normal dwarves are together. The ogres are in not Blackfire Pass, but they're in the mountains, an area around Nippon. The ogre, I just said ogres. The orcs are everywheres, and that's about it. Well, we don't know about the Lizardmen if they were there, or the Skaven. We don't know when they became an entity, I guess it would be said. But in the beginning, there were a couple of forces. Well, like humans were very nomadic. There was no real coagulation of cities and such. There's very few settlements of any size. And at this time, the first storm of chaos happened, and this was when a lot of people started going chaos, and they were fighting each other and trying to get the rewards of being chaos. And then people were being fused with beasts, cows, goats, horses, and such, forming the Beastmen. Pretty straightforward there. And the Beastmen were killing the humans because the humans were separated, and when they weren't strong, they couldn't fight back, as it were. So they were killing them, pretty much. That's pretty much how it was happening. So that's that. Then they were dying. The humans were dying. Pretty much humans in the old world were dying. The Nipponians, somewhat less than the others. But the people in later to be founded the Empire and in Bretonia and all the other human areas, they were dying. They were being killed. And a guy called Sigmar shows up, and he shows them, hey, get together. Safety in numbers. Don't go out at night alone. That's not the only. Don't go out at night alone was not the only advice he gave people. Of course. He actually did, like, give them actual advice. I'm just making a joke there. But you just kind of get the gist of that there. He taught the people to get together in defensive communities, in cities, build walls, form actual proper armies. And they did this, and it was being successful. The Beastmen warbands were starting to die to human armies. And it was getting better, and Sigmar broke the Chaos Gates in the old world, and then the Chaos Gates were left only to the Chaos Wastes, which was good news for everyone in the old world. So now the Empire safe, and, well, it wasn't the Empire yet, but all these cities that had been founded were kind of like, oh, we're independent, we're special. Nobody bother us. Don't come near us, we are independent. And they started fighting amongst each other, and to a new degree that hadn't really been seen in humanity yet. And they were killing lots of other humans. So the period of really big wars against these kings and princes and dukes and stuff in the soon-to-be empire. And then one powerful faction fought off and defeated or subjugated all the others and made it one faction to rule them all. Sorry, had to put it in there. But yeah, pretty much made the empire. Everyone was technically independent and had the freedom to vote for the next ruler. The ruler reigned until death, but you could vote for whoever you wanted to be. Well, generally it was one of the princes, so one of the electoral princes, and they were all guaranteed their independence as long as they obeyed the emperor, forming the empire. So that's kind of the founding of the empire. Kind of a necessity to defeat chaos and such. I probably actually shouldn't really be talking about the lore so much because I don't know that well. But one of the cool things about the Empire on the tabletop game is they really have a lot of freedom to do pretty much whatever they wanted. There's just very little restraining them. In the board game, your infantry is pretty much widespread to what you want to play. If you want to play a fast, hitty army, you could bring your core fill out as some swordsmen or great swords. For more of a chargy, killy army would probably be the great swords, and then you could bring Kobold riders, which are demi-griffs, which are non-winged griffins, rode by armored knights, griffin riders, which are regular griffins. So I don't know how to. Pretty much a giant eagle with 4 legs and wings. And then knightly orders and such have a really go fast, hit hard army. You could have a sit back shooting army with lots of cannons, hellblaster volley guns, that kind of thing. Having stuff like that. So they're very versatile on tabletop. Their ability to take a variety of core units, because you have to take an X amount of core for your army. Which kind of makes sense, right? Fun phone calls. Okay, back to what I was saying. But their core is so widespread. They could bring crossbows, hunters. They could bring handguns, spearmen, swordsmen, free company, halberdiers, great swords. As just their basic normal stuff. And then they had a variety of cannons, steam tanks. They had tanks too. Now you may take your own opinion if that's overpowered or not. It's what it is. They had tanks.
The pleasures of my household are you? If this is
So yeah, pretty much they could do whatever they wanted. They're quite versatile in their deployment. Whereas other factions like Bretonnia is pretty much set in how they play. The Bretonians bring large chunks of men-at-arms. And those of you who played Medieval 2 might think, men-at-arms? Those are some pretty hefty, tough knight guys, right? or a lot of visualizations of men-at-arms is coming from the late medieval period, where they were heavily armored. Alright? But truthfully, men-at-arms was just anyone bearing arms for their land, wherever they lived, the empire, kingdom, duchy, county, whatever, city, blah. So these men-at-arms are pretty much no experience, poor equipment, light armor, generally they had helmets, they had light spears, Pavis shields, which are really big shields. If you want to Pavis shield, look at crossbow cover shields, pretty much. So yeah, they're just garbage. They're a chaff unit. They're garbage. Like Bretonnia versus vampire counts is a bad story generally for Bretonnia, because what Bretonnia can field: men-at-arms, knights, longbows, trebuchets. You might say, oh, that's some really cool stuff that they can field. But in reality, it's mostly not that great. Like, sure, the longbows are pretty good, but they're used by undisciplined guys. And they're defended by ranks of poorly equipped men. So, vampire counts, you have a vampire in a unit of blood knights, and you have some dark knights supporting him, and you have some units of dire wolves and banshees or bat swarms or something to just catch up the enemy's cavalry and then charge it with your own uber cavalry and your monsters, your cryptgeists, your strigois, which are a group of vampires. I shouldn't say group, but race almost of vampires. And pretty much that's how it went. That's what it was. The cavalry is, for the most part, not important. The longbows, sure, they can shoot zombies all day. They'll get a few kills. Necromancers will just bring them all back. Probably bring more back. Trebuchets, the same thing. Zombies probably would almost certainly lose to men-at-arms. Skeletons or grave guards or ghouls, on the other hand, probably would be killing a lot of men-at-arms. So really, that's what it was. It's not a good place at all for these guys. Yeah. Back on topic. Empire is very capable of changing its tactics for its foe. Right? They're capable of actually adapting to the circumstances. Moving on. What else could one say? We'll probably leave it at that for this, for now. Oh no, really bad looking for me. Oh no. There's a lot of archers. Yeah, I made a mistake. I just thought I was about to have a battle, but apparently not. Actually, kind of like the vampire cast now that I think about it. But let's just look. Let's just talk about. I'm thinking something good to compare here, like something good to talk about. Comparisons. So I've talked about the Empire. Let's talk about them in comparison to the Bretonnians. The Bretonnians are very knightly. They're very, I don't give a dang wad about any darn tootin' peasants, such on and so forth. Yeah. Sounds very Bretonnian. Darn tootin'. I'm from Bretonia. Don't mess with me. But yeah, Bretonnians, I can't really see them doing very well against the Empire. So, the Bretonnians are going to bring trebuchets to fight cannons and volley guns, and they're going to bring longbows to fight crossbows and handguns. The night battle, I would probably give favor to the Bretonnians in the cavalry. But here's the thing. The Empire doesn't need to win the cavalry engagement because it will butcher the infantry engagement, and then it'll turn to the cavalry engagement. Here's some spearmen or some guns into that, and just destroy it. Alright? So, I don't see how the Empire can't defeat Bretonia, probably because the Empire spends all of its time either fighting vampires or fighting other fun things, such as well, I guess they've fought in Bretonia a couple times, but fighting Chaos Warriors, fighting in Kislev against Chaos. That takes up a whole other time. Fighting Orcs, Blackfire Pass, Announced in Warhammer, cool. But yeah, they don't have much time to fight the Bretonnians, too. And not in a cost-effective manner. Because, well, Bretonnians are dedicated to not letting Empire guys in. This is kind of failing. This is the Ramble Rants. Should probably structure these a little bit. Alright. That will be the plan for next time. I actually have some kind of structure for the Wednesday. Don't tell anyone that I just deployed my army backwards. Please don't tell anybody that. That was only completely embarrassing. That never happened. You see, this was just a trick to distract the enemies. Okay. I'm not going to talk about the lore offhand. I'll do actual research and then talk about it and comparisons and such, but I'm really excited for Warhammer. Why I want to talk about it so much. I'm excited about Fallout. That's going to be cool. Let us rant at CA's current how they do things model for their games and why I'm not confident about it at all. Well, no, I'm confident that it works. It works for certain. It just sucks. A lot. Because here's how it is. Every game that they've released recently, no exceptions, and by recent I'm talking Attila, and I'm talking Rome 2. This is what I'm talking here. In this frame of mind. Okay. Who has noticed what the CA has done past few games that they've released? And if you want me, I'll explain here. What CA has done is add DLC, day one, or not even day one DLC. Day one DLC would be a whole nother matter. They add DLC for the pre-order, like they take factions out of the game, and then they sell it to you if you pre-order. All right, that's what they did with Rome, right here. If you didn't pre-order like me, you did not get to play as Sparta. They were gonna have a game where you could play as where Sparta was a race, and they would make it so it was not playable unless you bought the DLC. So I pre-ordered it, got it for the same price. That was great. Next DLC release, the Steppe Hordes. 3 new factions in the Horde areas. There was no factions like this already, so there's no excuse for not including it as it is. I managed to get it on the one weekend sale that it had on. It was free. That's great. If I hadn't found it on that free sale, free 1 month sale thing, I probably would never have bought it, to be completely honest. Like, culture packs, some people say, oh, culture packs are fine, cool. Yeah, new culture packs, new things. And yeah, they are cool, and they're new, and it's awesome. But I look at it to the point, from the point of view that I already bought this game, and these factions are already in the game. It's not like in Shogun 2 when they added in Fall of the Samurai, where they completely redid everything. Pretty much. Right? No, it's not that. There was not that kind of featurage to justify the game price. Like, their campaign packs, I can understand them wanting to get the 10 DLC out, because the campaign packs are acceptable. They're really good, actually. To be honest, the campaign packs are excellent, above average, above and beyond what most other people do for campaign packs, and something like that. But they pre-order DLC, very early DLC after that, showing that they already had the content, just didn't release it. Well, first off, that's not a very good sales habit. Second off, nobody wants to know that they bought a game that there was more content for. Just they don't get it. Right? Like, why would you do that to your fan base? Because they have a very specific fan base. Let's be honest here. Very specific fan base for Total War games. But yet they want to eke out all the cash potentially possible from these people who should be their fan base, who they should be getting things from. And they've repeatedly had to give free content away to make up for past errors. And that should just say something about it. And if this was not something completely, extremely different, and I probably still won't pre-order the game, but this is probably going to be one of the few exceptions when there's not going to be pre-order DLC content because of Games Workshop. Games Workshop's just going to say, no, you're not doing that. Not to our game. Probably the one time we're going to get it like that. Straight up, complete. Granted, they're only giving us 3 in-depth factions to play as. So, keep that in mind. 3 in-depth factions. I'm just kind of like raging out at this point against them, and it's kind of unfair. Whatever. That they're a company, that they have profit margins, that everyone has a boss in the company, and blah blah blah. But still, come on. That just bugs me. Something else that I want to talk about is the lack of modability that there will be. There will be no mod tools provided by CA in the release of the game. Like, no mod tools, but I'll release an hour worth of content in 2 half-hour blocks, approximately half-hour long. I mean, random thing. Might be something that's bothering me, might be something that's coming out, might be something I just got. Sure, it's distracting me and such, and it's hard to commentate while playing this kind of thing. That's true and all. It's not like I even have confidence in me able to do it, but like, when something important happening on in this game, I'm gonna be ranting off on about something. I create words that I don't even know what they mean. Yeah. Little trick I've picked up. Chase off the enemy's army. Should be... oh, they're still in support range. Okay, so this second army is going to hunt down and kill this army. Okay. They're done. And that should be significant enough. Auto resolve. Aggressive. 83% left. Blah 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 blah. I take a province. Bam! I've already done more than any of those areas that I was playing through at the time. Bam. So, friend, you want to make peace? No? Okay. Well, I'm Outside the Gamer, and I hope you have a good day, because I'm not, it's raining, and I had no internet for like a couple hours, so, hope you have a good day.